Today we're doing a day in the life. I'm taking you along in a day in my life. I just headed all the kids off. Samochka is in school. Rusan is with my grandma, and Philip is at work. So I'm heading up to work right now too. Today's Wednesday, media day again, but we got lots to catch up on from Spain. We have tons of footage that we took from like all the runways and everything. So we need to kind of like sift through it and then make content out of it, you know? And then after work today, I do have my hair appointment, which I love my hairstylist, but I'm not the kind of person that loves to get their hair done just because it takes hours. It takes a very, very long time, but my roots are getting really bad. I've pushed it longer than I should have. Schedule has been super busy, so I'm getting there today, so I'm going to be there probably until evening time, and then we have Bible study. We got a new collection in. This is Mon Atelier, and it's one of my favorite dresses by them. It's called Yvonne. It looks like satin, but if you look close, there is actually a print on it. It has built-in corset, and the cups are kind of like upside down. They scoop in like this. Super pretty. And it's a ball gown.
No.
Come on. These are going to be your viewers too. We'll share. This is Yulia.
No.
You met her on last week's Barcelona trip. It was her vlog.
Bald. It was not.
We were just making a guest appearance. Anyway, so she is starting a podcast. And it's called...
The fact that not even an episode is out is fantastic.
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 Her podcast is called Save It for the Pod or Podcast?
Podcast.
Save It for the Podcast.
Save it for the podcast.
And the entire trip, we were just like, save it for the podcast.
It never happens.
Save it for the podcast. No, but she's, I feel like
time.
everyone, once they get to know you, once they see you a little bit, they understand that there is charisma.
Charisma, yeah.
And
I have Riz.
And there's something there. So stay tuned for her podcast.
Yeah.
She's going to show me her intro. Show me her...
Wait, you have to mute this part.
You
have to mute this part.
I will.
Bleep it out. Can't see it.
Okay. You're holding her eye. That is so much lower. All right, friends. I had the subtle urge to answer some questions and just kind of give you a glimpse of what it really is like to own a bridal business. This all stemmed from a nasty message. Well, a few nasty messages, and just some kindly phrased nasty messages when we were in Spain. And honestly, like, I get it. Like, I get it, dude. It's fine. I'll talk to you about it. So basically, when we were in Spain, we were filming a lot more content, and I was showing a lot more of work, right? A lot more of Spain, runway shows, and I kind of posted, like, oh, like, can't believe this is my job type of deal. And people were confused. Because I usually don't show my darling, and it's changing, right? I'm going to be showing a lot more. I've decided that like it is part of my life, and I'll show it, and I feel more confident in myself as a business owner to be able to put it online. Because honestly, for a few years you are a noob, right? And you don't really want to like, it's already scary to like have your own business, but then putting everything out there is, you know, you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, I don't know if this is right, so like you're just not confident yourself in that, so you're like, I'm not going to share it. And although it is a beautiful industry, it's majority of my work, I would say like 90% of it, 87% of it, it's not filmable, right? Like, first of all, you're not going to film appointments of brides, privacy, and just like, you won't do that. I also don't do those very often. But also, it's just like not very filmable. Like going to runway shows, like why I started posting that is it's a very filmable opportunity, right? Like you're out like meeting maybe some celebrities, maybe you're doing like something exciting, like going to Spain, you're seeing new collections. Everything is just very like bright and shareable. So that's why I did it. But the majority of my life is not that like that, you know, and that's why like that was kind of like a sudden switch in content. It's because it's like a once-in-a-year experience, right? And owning your own business, especially like a bridal business, I do get a lot of DMs about it, like how did you start, how did you do all this? And I'll answer you privately, but I don't really share in general for the reason I said before. But you got to remember that even in life, that even in work that is very prominent in social media, like owning your business, and then we do a lot of content for My Darling, it's not always what you see out there, you know, like what you see on socials. Owning your business is very difficult. I feel like a lot of fellow business owners, no matter what industry you're in, you understand that it's a lot, and it's a lot on you because you're the one who is responsible, right? So like for me, you might see me prancing around Spain, going to Prenovia shows, but also like at the same time, there are hundreds of wedding dress orders that are on my shoulders, like solely because I am the business owner. There's nobody else to blame if something screws up, and things get screwed up very frequently, and these are like high stakes situations because it's a wedding dress, right? It's like a once in a lifetime thing, and people's expectations for it are very, very high, as they should be. It's expensive inventory, so there's also high stakes in the money. It is $1 billion industry, which is exciting. There's lots of opportunities, but also it's a lot to initially invest in, and you're constantly investing in things because it's fashion, and fashion changes every season. So it's exciting. It's a wonderful industry, but it's very high stakes. It's very high stress. Although you not be physically working all the time, like, you know, if you're working in the medical field, or if you're working like more like labor jobs, it's just a lot on your shoulders as a business owner. It has its creative aspects. It has a lot of fun things, but there's just more to it. Also, it's what we are doing. We are brick and mortar, which means that we have a physical location. We're not selling online. We don't have a warehouse that we work out of. We are here, right? So there's a lot of face-to-face customer interaction, which is good. You get to see a lot of lovely people, but also you do get yelled at quite a lot in person. And you know, when you work with people, it's all about customer service, and people are either nice or people have their days, and you get to see a broad spectrum of that, even working like doc appointments or working in the customer service of it. I am also the CEO, which means that I put out fires. So if there's anything ever wrong, the girls come to me. If there's ever you know, a not so great client, they come to me. I deal with that, right? So there's also that stress, and I'm not saying that any other job will have that as well, especially if you deal with people, but we kind of deal it on both sides. We deal with it on the designer side because we're the middle person. We work with the designer, and we work with the client, right? The designer doesn't work with the client, so we're kind of the middle person. So for example, the designer screws up, it's our responsibility to take care of it and like present the problem to the consumer, to the customer. If there's a problem with the customer about the problem, we go to the designer. So it's kind of like the middle person, you know? So you're kind of always, no matter what, you're kind of always in the middle of any negative things that might happen. Also owning a brick and mortar, which is the physical location. Just physical location thing. It's like maintenance. We're leasing in a historic building. And if you have any experience with historic buildings, you know that a lot of things can go wrong. Like in our 6 years of being open in this location, we've had a flood twice. We've had one of those big HVAC thingies fall. Thankfully, all of this happens on Sundays when we're closed. So whenever we open on a Monday, we're like, great. So we have had 2 floods. We had the HVAC thing fall, break some tile. We've had, what else? We had like quite a few AC and heating issues, which, you know, kind of limit your appointments for the day when you're experiencing literal frost inside the building. Tons of plumbing issues. What else have we had? We had a break-in. We've had our windows smashed twice. Also, we've lived through stuff. Like, we've lived through COVID as a business. That was tough. We've lived through the riots in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is literally right there. That was very scary. I remember, like, running to our store when we lived in St. Paul when they were doing the riots and grabbing all of the bridal dresses, like bridal orders that we still had in our office, putting them in my car, having it at home just in case, because we're downtown. And I remember sitting and watching on my phone. They had like a tracker of like where the mobs are at now, and they were like on Summit Avenue, which is literally right downhill from us. And thank God they stopped right before like going downhill, so we didn't get any like rioting on our street. A store down, a couple of blocks down, got hit, but we did not. But I remember having to like literally board up the windows and things like that. So like there's more responsibility when you have a physical location, because security, just maintenance wise, and you have another building that you're taking care of, and also rent, which is another added expense that is my responsibility. So I feel like it's just, one of the DMs was like, your job, you know, what is your job? And it was like a huge message. It was just like coming from a place of just like, I think hurt. And she's just like, your life is like not real. Like, what is this job that you do? Like, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, that's true. Like, I might not work as much as like a regular 9 to 5, but I have a lot of stress on me. I have a lot of responsibility on me. And like, how am I supposed to film it? You know? Like, how am I supposed to film that? It's not a filmable thing. And also, like, I'm not going to be sharing the things that are going wrong, like when it involves a customer and things like that. You know, there's also like privacy. So yeah, there's just a lot to owning a business. Not necessarily even bridal. Bridal just means, in my opinion, it's more beautiful, but it's more high stakes. It's fun, it's exciting, but it's also a lot to invest in. There's always a lot of money juggling up in the air. Even on these buying trips, the reason why I wasn't so present in the vlog, if you guys saw it, and I had like all these grand ideas of like, I'm gonna film when I'm there, I'm gonna explain the collections, but when I'm there, I even have a hard time enjoying the collections, because all I'm thinking about is, what am I investing in? What is gonna bring the biggest return? Because it's a lot of money that you're investing, right? Like, for example, for one of our designers, minimum order is like what, 18, right? That's minimum $18,000 that you're investing in this collection, and you're picking out the pieces, and you pray that those pieces are going to sell well, so you get a return on your investment, right? Otherwise, it's just dead stock and you lose your money. So it is a lot about investing and knowing the business and knowing the dresses and the fits and the fabrics and what's selling right now. You always have to be constantly aware of the trends that are going on, because guess what? It's not just buying dresses like you would for your own closet. It's, you buy something because you know it's going to sell, because at the end of the day, you still need to make money, right? I have employees. I have rent to make. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that responsibility too. But it's just like a little reminder that if you don't see somebody posting all of this on social media, it doesn't mean they're going through it. There's just filmable moments that are fun and exciting to share, and there's just moments that are not filmable and they're not. When something goes wrong at work, my first instinct is not to pull out my camera. You know? So yeah, there was just, wow, that was like a regurgitation of information and things like that. I am going to be showing my darling a lot more. I'm going to be starting to work a lot more too. So my goal was the first 2 years of the boys, Solomon and Ruslan, I wanted to be home as much as possible. Solomon's in school now. He's going to be full-time in September. And Ruslan is, he's with my grandma. So he's with my grandma one day. Then he's with my mother-in-law the other day. And then Philip is home one day. So 3 days a week that are not weekends, physical days, I will now be here. And then I will be working weekends as well. So picking up a lot more, just because, you know, they're not babies anymore. They don't need me for survival. They'll be fine with their grandma. But again, very lucky to have family near us. Don't take it for granted. I feel like it keeps us stable. The free childcare. Again, there's no manual. There's no manual of like how to start your own business, how to have a successful business. Because honestly, I still feel like fake it till you make it, and I still feel like many times I'm faking it. Because every year, every season, you just learn something different. Life throws things at you, and you just adjust, just like how in any other field. I feel like the older you get, the more you realize that honestly, many people don't know what they're doing, and that's okay, because we all learn. Right now I'm just getting this dress ready. A gal is buying it off the rack, which means she's just buying the physical sample, And I'm just tidying it up. I'm sure any loose threads are gone. Sealing up some beads. Yulia and I are doing very important tasks right now. She's our social media girl.
I'm just trying to document everything, honestly.
We filmed a little day in the life today, and then we're going through all of the Barcelona footage and importing it into reels, stuff like that. Is my coffee still in the microwave?
You would not be surprised.
Hey! This is our office. It's tiny, but it has tall ceilings. This is where we work. This is where Yulia works. This is where I work.
Cheeky little chair.
This is our coffee station. And then this is our whiteboard that is usually full of verses and sales goals. But Ruslan was here a couple days ago and he drew on it.
Dude, I love this reel. Where did you find it?
It randomly popped up on my feed.
Oh,
I'm telling you, you know how when you're like on Russian TikTok or like Russian Reels, it's like different stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like they start a lot of it. And I think that was from like Australia or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so, I love it.
You just gotta spend more time on Instagram.
Yeah, well, I only spend 5 hours a day.
I'm so sorry, but how beautiful is the building? How beautiful. You got a little facelift. We repainted the entire outside. It was part of like my terms for our lease renewal because it was getting worn down. So while we were in Spain, it got done and it's so beautiful. So if you're in town, in the Minnesota Twin Cities area, pop by, take a picture, share it on your stories, you know? Give you some free advertising. That would be so great. I'm off to Claire to go get my hair done. My roots have seen better days. Yuda, you know the girl from there, she didn't realize that I have to dye my hair to be blonde. She thought it was natural, so she was flabbergasted when I told her that. Yeah, most older women that are not children, that are blonde, dye it. I ruined her world. So my appointment is tomorrow. It is not today. I walked in super confident and it is not my day. Tomorrow is my day. So I'm gonna be getting my hair done tomorrow. I need to figure out how to do a schedule. Something better than what is happening now because I don't know how I input things wrong, but I did. And this is not the first time. Things like this happen to me. So I'm just gonna go home. I still have quite a bit of work to do. There was a man. And then maybe film some content that I've been meaning to film because the children are taken care of.
Remember when I went fast with my bike?
Yeah, I remember when you went fast with your bike. You look cool. Look how cool he is. Just sitting outside eating like a gremlin because it's already 11 o'clock. I haven't had breakfast. I've been working all morning.
11
Yeah, it's already 11 o'clock. That's crazy, huh? And I have the boys with me today. So we're just gonna eat real quick and then we're gonna go to a park and then we're gonna go buy flowers, yeah? He requested what color flowers?
Red.
Red flowers. I'm gonna buy some flowers to put outside. It's finally getting warm and it's staying warm. Ruslan, what are you doing, sir?
I'm checking.
Can you go check, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Keep your brother alive. I like your jacket.
Thanks.
We didn't make it to the store, but we did make it to a playground. Very exciting news. I also called my mother because I was like, Mother, I want to buy plants. My mom was like a flower connoisseur and she told me to like basically calm down because it's too early. So we're probably not gonna go to the store. But yeah, my phone is at 1%, so you'll probably not see any more of